Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning into another one of my shows, William Wallace for America. As I always like to say, I am William Wallace. And with me today is Greg Ryder, CEO of Launchcart. When you hear his story and about his platform, I think you're going to be not only impressed with an American business story that shows the success that we can have in our country, but it's also going to show you a platform that you can go to build your own brand. If you're a podcaster, you're an influencer, some sort of a radio show host, but even bigger than that, let's just say that you're, the average person at home who wants to have a home-based business and just has some good ideas that you want to get out there. Launchcart, which we're going to talk about, is the place to go. And this is going to be more than just a piece on Launchcart. It's going to be a story that everybody will be truly inspired with. Greg, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it.
No, I appreciate it. And I'm always loving to talk to people and share the whatever wisdom I have, that little wisdom I have in there from being 60 years old and, having the teeth kicked in a few times and helping people, in this world of e-commerce and kind of really take advantage of this big, giant, humongous e-commerce craze that's going on globally.
It really is interesting because you hear about the Amazons and the Shopify's and the this and the that, but I think when people really see, because you're going to do some screen shares today, you're going while we're live. Anybody who's listening to the podcast can always go back to the videos and if they want to see the screen shares. But I think when you tell your story, I really think people are getting inspired. Greg, what did you do before Launchcart?
Well, before Launchcard, you want to kind of go back to where we started out and then kind of go forward or
Yeah,
go.
yeah. I want to. I think 'cause when I got to meet you in Phoenix and learn about your story and see how passionate you are for not only your business but for our country, I'm just amazed at the good story. So you start from where you want to start. We'll go around that.
Well, okay, so really, do you remember the book or have you read the book Robert Kiyosaki wrote called Rich Dad Poor Dad?
I know it well.
So I always tell people I need to get somebody to tell them to start sending me royalties because that book was written about me.
Okay.
So no, literally, I was born in a very, very wealthy Denver family, the Ryder family. And if you go like to downtown Denver amongst all the high rises, there's a whole square block called Ryder Square. They built high rises and homes and Chuck E. Cheese's and car washes and strip malls and restaurants and bars. But my parents got divorced when I was 2. I went with my mom and she got married, divorced, and married again. So I had 3 poor dads and then 1 rich dad. And I was always visiting my dad. So I'm living with my mom and these stepdads. And then my dad's like, I'm visiting him and we're going to Jamaica and Hawaii and San Diego, which is how I ended up here in San Diego and Disneyland, all that kind of stuff. But to fast forward, when I was 19, I got into my dad's Jaguar and he had a big stack of stock confirmations. And I get in the seat and I like, it was a brand new Jaguar XJ12. I'll never forget it. And I'm looking at like stock confirmations. What are these? It's like 120,000, 240,000, 50,000, 60,000, big giant thick stack of stock confirmations. And I'm like, what's a stock confirmation? He's like, it's a receipt, and that's where it all started for me. So going to Rich Dad Poor Dad. So my dad sat me, he's like, that's where you buy stocks, you get a receipt. And what's a stock? And we started going through this whole thing. And he says, if you have any money saved up, I'll get you in a stock. And so I had been working construction and I'd saved up 2 grand. He put 100 grand in and I put 2 grand in and we put it into a private placement. And
Well,
the
you put
company,
2 grand. He put 100 grand.
yeah, yeah. So, and we put it in a private placement. The company went public 4 months later, and we sold out on opening day at 7 times our money. So I turned my 2 grand into 14 grand. So I'm like,
Nice.
woohoo!
Woo!
I love this. This
I'm
is
gonna buy me a
awesome.
Jaguar now.
Yeah. And then my dad turned his 100 grand into 700 grand. So I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And my dad was in what I call the good old boy network. Right. So he used to call me up. So I ended up getting my stockbroker's license. He'd say, okay, buy this, sell that, buy this, sell that, buy this, sell that. And it was like and this was the early 80s. So back then, I mean, you could practically throw darts and make money. And it was an amazing time in my life. And then I ended up reading the book Rich Dad. I ended up reading the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
I love that book. Yes.
Yeah. So then I go to my dad and I go, Dad, this guy that I'm working for is taking 50% of my commissions. Between me and my 6 buddies that worked at this branch office, we're knocking down 200, 300 grand a month in commissions. And this guy's getting half, but I think I want to buy him out. And guess what my dad said? He
I
said,
don't
go
know.
do it. I'm
Okay.
like, I'm like, really? He goes, yeah. So I went and made an offer to him and bought the guy I worked for out. And by the time before I turned 22, I was the youngest owner of a full service investment bank in the history of the country.
Unbelievable. That's awesome.
That was my
Yeah,
first big mistake in life, right?
your
But
first big mistake.
I was 21. Wall Street ate me for lunch. The Wolf of Wall Street. I just jumped right into that movie, The Wolf of Wall
Yeah,
Street,
right,
right?
exactly. You were there.
And so, but I went on to raise money and help entrepreneurs, and I really became this early adopter and love entrepreneurs and inventors. And I'll never forget, the guy comes in my office and he goes, "Hey, I need to raise 600 grand." I said, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm going to start a little company called Home Shopping Network, and we're going to sell stuff on the television 7/24 365." And I thought, what a great idea. And I'm 22 years old, 23 years old. And, and, and at that time, we had just got done raising money for Daniels Cable Company and all the cable industry. We only really had 3 channels and a few cable companies, and no one had ever given their credit card over the phone. No one ever did anything like that.
Yeah,
And I
exactly.
remember calling up investors going, "Oh, William, no, you got to get in this deal. We're raising 600 grand. They're going to sell stuff on the television. It's going to be a huge deal." And people are going, "Ryder, you're crazy. No one's going to buy anything off the television." And I tell that story because I like to tell this story is guys that believe in entrepreneurs
Hmm.
and give capital to entrepreneurs, we create what I call torrential downpour economics. And you've probably heard of trickle down economics, which,
Right.
Art Laffer made famous when he was in the Reagan administration. And I call it torrential downpour economics. And here's what I mean. Because we believed in that guy and that team that started Home Shopping Network back in the early 80s, right?
Right.
Think about the trillions of dollars of business that has been transpired because of their success, because somebody believed in them, gave them the capital to start,
Right.
right?
Yep.
The shippers, the suppliers, the trucks, the TV
Excellent.
crews, the manufacturers, for all the companies. I mean, it's torrential downpour economics. And then you think about, like the iPhone and these apps. They create a phone that has these apps in the smartphone. The torrential downpour of economics is what saves our economy.
Right.
Seriously,
Exactly.
right? So in that, we'll come back to that as we talk about Launchcart, but that's kind of where I'm at now. I am an entrepreneur going, okay, I'm creating Launchcart. I want to create that torrential downpour of economics for people all over the globe
Other
to,
people. Right.
you have to make money, right? So we raised money for just so many companies. And I was involved in the IPO for Microsoft. We got a little allocation of that stock, and so it was kind of an interesting time. But I'm not proud to say, but I got into the drug scene, and I'm like, and then I got saved, went to church, and I got clean in 1987. And I'm
Wow.
like, and then I'm coming out of that. And I'm like, I'm going to work every day, and everybody, again, think about the Wolf of Wall Street, that movie, and that
Yep.
industry. Everyone did the cocaine, everyone drank. It was quite the mess. And I got married. I had 3 kids at the time. And I'm like, I have got to get out of this business. Like after 2 years of being clean and still being in the business, I'm like, temptation's just everywhere. I got to get out of the business. So I literally went to my office one day. I had 40 brokers working for me. I said, it was a Friday. And I said, we're closing up shop by Monday. Everyone pack your stuff and get out. And I just basically fired everybody, no warning, no nothing. And I had everyone get out, sold all the stuff, packed, and I thought, I gotta move, I gotta leave, I can't be in this crowd, I can't be here.
Hmm.
I put everything in a U-Haul and moved out here to California from Colorado. And at that time, this is such a great story, I think. At that time, my best friend was a chainsaw wood carver. And so he says, well, you can come carve, make carvings with me. So I got myself a chainsaw. So I went from being a Wall Street
I was
executive
gonna
raising
say
money.
the writer, all the money from the writer family, 100,000 for your 200,000. You make these big trades. You get into Wall Street, and now you're carving wood
On the street corner, little wooden Indians
after
and
you
wooden
after you got after you got off drugs. By the way.
yeah, and wooden bears and cowboys, and we'd carve them on the side of the street, and people would see us carve and pull over and give us 300, 400, 500. We throw them in the trunk and they drive off. And I did that for a while. That's honestly God's true story. But then I got into the internet, and I bought the very first e-commerce mall. in 1997. It was called FirstNet Mall, firstnetmall.com. So again, you go back to now, you're getting to know me, William. I had this vision for e-commerce in 1997, right?
That's unbelievable, right?
And then the other thing I did is I created angelnetwork.com. It was the very first angel group online in 1997. I had this idea that we could create a nationwide angel group and we could democratize. I was thinking about crowdfunding and using video and the internet and all these tools to help fund
Angel
and
investing, right? For angel investing. Okay.
Exactly, angel investing. So I did that for years, and it just had lots of ups and downs and lots of successes and lots of failures, and financed a couple companies that went on to be unicorns and had some good hits, and all that kind of stuff. And so that kind of got me into the internet, and I started doing digital marketing in the internet, and I became really good at it. And one of my mentors taught me. He said, if you really want to be good at something, teach it to others. Because with a person that has integrity who wants to teach will take the time to learn so they're good enough to teach.
Exactly right. Exactly.
And so I took that to heart, and you can see two of my bookshelves here. I got 4 or 5 bookshelves like that. I bought every book, went to every course, and I became a marketing guy. And I traveled from 2004 to 2009, 10, 11, I guess it was. I traveled all over the world teaching people marketing and digital marketing, and then digital marketing as digital marketing came into play. So I really believe I'm really good at that. And I love e-commerce, and I love, entrepreneurship. I love people that are hardworking and that really want to do multiple streams of income. And so that's kind of like my story. I got some cool success stories in there,
I,
lots of failures, and I
I
learned a lot
love it.
more from the failures than I did the success stories. But
Look, I can appreciate that completely. Your story is very parallel to mine, so I completely understand. But I will say I didn't have some of those highs that you had though, because those sound there like that was a good time. But and so now you truly, when you created Launchcart, you were not only your background of having been in the business of e-commerce, but I always like to point out and look at what's in people's hearts. And it sounds like this is in your heart to not only create a successful business on an entrepreneurship level, but also create opportunities for a lot of other people and show them how to do it. Is that correct?
yeah, no, I'm really big on education and growing. And I remember Brian Tracy taught me this, and Zig Ziglar taught me this, and Jim Rohn taught me this, and Tony Robbins taught me this. If you're not growing, you're dying. And meaning if you're not learning, if you're not moving ahead with your intellect, and the two things, like Warren Buffett says, the best investment you can make is in a skill set and what you can put between these two ears, right? And then
Right.
because you're investing in yourself, no one can take that. The economy can't take that, all that kind of stuff. And then it's about relationships, and then it's about having your own business, right? So I'm really big on that. And I really love teaching, educating, helping. And because I'm 60 now and I've helped start and invest in hundreds of companies and I've coached tens of thousands of entrepreneurs, I got the nickname of the entrepreneur's best friend because I really can help somebody from a napkin idea to I'm doing $100 million IPO on NASDAQ or something. So I'm very blessed in that nature, but it is about empowering people with knowledge and information and helping them avoid the landmines and being able to have that financial literacy or that entrepreneur literacy so they can control their destiny.
I love that. So I'll ask this question in two ways. Is that how you got the idea for Launchcart, or how did you get the idea for Launchcart? And then I want you to tell people. Let's give them a synopsis of what Launchcart is, so they can have kind of an understanding what it is, and then you tell them how you started it.
Okay, now that's really good. So basically, I was doing consulting and I made an investment in a company, and it was a celebrity driven shopping app. And I went out to New York City to visit my investment, and they had all kinds of big celebrities and names in this. And I get this Gmail, God mail I call it, but I called it Gmail before Google took my name. Like because God would talk to me, and I had this idea. So with all these celebrities and my e-commerce love for e-commerce internet, I thought, man, I want to start a company called Celebrity Lifestyle Brands, and I want to partner with these new influencers and help them, build a company with the proper asset protection and the proper legal stuff and the proper trademark protection, and help them build a brand and kind of do it as a venture capitalist where I own a piece of the pie rather than exchanging time for money. So when I went to visit my investment, I got introduced to the guy that brought in all the celebrities to this celebrity, shopping app. And I also brought a couple $1 million investment into this company. So he knew me. Everyone told him, "Oh, that's the guy that brought in the money. He's one of our investors and
Yeah.
the guy that brought in the millions of dollars." And then everyone told me, "Oh, that's the guy that brought in the celebrity." So we didn't know each other. And so I went to him. I said, "Hey, do you mind if I ask you a question?" He says, "No, sure." I said, "I got this idea. I want to start a company called Celebrity Lifestyle Brands. And my idea is to partner with them and take an equity share and find the people that we can leverage my internet marketing skills and my digital marketing skills, help them build an e-commerce brand." Because Kylie Jenner built $1 billion brand before she was 22. And then
Right.
you got Jessica Alba built $1 billion brand with the Honest Company. And it's just, you can just, all these different examples. He goes, "Wow, that's a great idea." He goes, "Do you know what I do?" And I go, "No, I don't know what you do." So he goes, "Oh, we have to meet for lunch." So he says, so the next day I went and met him for lunch. I think it was on the 47th floor, overlooking Central Park,
Yeah.
high rent district, and the Trump Tower. He's sitting over there as Tommy Hilfiger, and I'm like, "What do you do?" And he goes, "Well, I'm partners with Tommy Hilfiger. We have a company called Star Shop, or it was called, I forget what it was called, but his tagline was Stars Can Be Brands." And he goes, "Me and Tommy are wrapping this up, and what you described is what we have right now, version 2.0, because we've been doing it in brick and mortar. I launched Jennifer Lopez, I launched Nicki Minaj, I launched Adam Levine," and he just names off all these A-list celebrities that he's done stuff with. And he goes, "Because of that, because of what I've done and accomplished, celebrities come to me all the time, but I don't have any digital marketing experience. I don't have any digital marketing skills. I don't have any investment banking skills. So you and I should partner up on your idea." And I'm like, what ideas?" He goes, "Your celebrity lifestyle brands idea." I'm like, "You want to partner with me?" I'm like, "You're sitting in the office overlooking Central Park with Tommy Hilfiger 2 doors down,
Just yesterday, I was carving bears and on the street.
exactly. So, so
I saw sawdust in my ears. Hang on one second.
Yeah, so that's exactly what happened, and so we shook hands that day, started Celebrity Lifestyle Brands, and then he started bringing celebrities to the table. We worked with Carlos Santana, and we worked on a brand with Sofia Vergara, and we did a thing with Bethany Frankel and different things, and we started doing millions and millions of dollars using Shopify. And as a digital marketer, I'm like, "God, this just doesn't
Yeah.
do what I want to do." And I'm like, the pain points, everything that's invented probably was invented because it caused the pain for somebody or something, right? So that's kind of what I was experiencing. And then one day I typed in Shopify support, and I saw their stock quote. And I'm like, I didn't even know they were publicly traded, but they're publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange. And I looked them up, and they were $10.8 billion. And I'm like, this company's worth $10 billion
Yeah.
that I'm cursing out underneath my breath every single day of my life because it doesn't do this, doesn't do that, doesn't do this. I literally picked up the phone. I said, Burnt, we need to put Celebrity Lifestyle Brands on hold. We need to create our own e-commerce platform. We have the crystal ball. We know what e-commerce is, its products, its sizes, its variants, its colors. We know the pain points, and Shopify is the biggest and the best out there, and it's got all kinds of problems, and I'm not the only one experiencing this. Let's create our own platform.
Right.
I've done software development in the past. I've invested in software companies. I can do this.
Mhm.
He goes, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "Yeah." Well, I got to tell you, I thought it was going to be easy, but it's been a much harder lift than I thought. But that's kind of how it started. Then, as you kind of get passionate about it, and you're going, "Okay, what are we going to do? And how do we make this? And how do we, go in the marketplace?" And so what we did is Launchcart is a e-commerce SaaS platform. It's a technology stack that allows anybody to go sell anything online. But if you want to go do that on Shopify, you have to start paying money, monthly fees. So we said, well, let's look at this freemium model. Facebook's free, and Google's free, and Etsy's free, and PayPal's free, and there's all these beautiful success stories on a freemium model. But guess what? There wasn't any freemium models in the e-commerce space.
Hmm.
And you're going, wow, that's weird. And really, the reason why is it's hard to keep your runway going with the freemium model. But I said, nope, we're going to have a freemium model. We're going to lower the barrier of entry for small business owners and entrepreneurs and wannabe entrepreneurs globally, and we're going to give them the ability to start a free e-commerce store. And then we said, okay, that's easy, but then we want to be able to give them products on demand. Like, we want them to be able to click some buttons and have products to sell with no inventory costs, no fulfillment costs or headaches, right?
Right.
So we said,
Exactly.
okay, let's integrate with some
Solving the
companies.
pain points.
Right? Let's integrate with the companies, and we're going to show your store off in a minute, which again is why we built you a store. What if we could have a thing where you could have 400 products, t-shirts and hats and hoodies and flip-flops and bean bags and beach towels, and you could put your brand on them, you could put your designs on them, but you didn't have to pay for inventory until after you sold it.
Right.
And you could buy it wholesale, sell it retail, and keep the spread. So we set off to do that, and that's what we've done. And so we're creating the SaaS platforms up and going, and we're creating this on-demand marketplace where you can source products to sell with no inventory up front. Now, of course, if you have, here's one of my clients right here. She invented the Spin Gym, and it's like this
Oh,
little workout device that you sit at your desk, and the centrifugal force of pulling this back and forth is like working out my arms right now.
yeah.
And she sold 2 million of these on Home Shopping Network. But she
Two
doesn't know how
million.
to she doesn't know how to build a website. She doesn't know how to sell them. So we're
And now,
building her a website, right?
so you're building our website for that
Yeah.
on
Now
Launchcart,
on Launchcart. But then guess what? You know how we're setting you up with t-shirts, hats, and hoodies and stuff?
correct?
We're gonna put this product in what we call our source and sell marketplace. So if you were a fitness expert and you go, hey, that's a cool fitness product, I'd like to sell that product. You'll be able to go to our source and sell marketplace, click a button, and the product title, the product photos, the product descriptions, and the price will be added to your store. And when you sell it from your store, you get a commission for selling it. The order gets routed to this company that owns this, and they drop ship it to your client for you. You never have to touch it, but yet you become a distribution channel for the inventor. You make a commission. You're already in the fitness world. It's a unique
Right.
product with a proven sales thing. And now they're getting a new distribution channel, and it's a win-win-win for everybody.
This is a great way for just about anybody to be in business without any money up front, any money down, and to build their brand and build, or like you said, if they're in the fitness industry or whatever industry they're in, they can search products that fit for what their business model is.
Right, right.
So I see it now. So basically, you're telling me you get this, you've had a passion for helping entrepreneurs. You've been in e-commerce business. You get this idea. You find a business partner. You jump in. Where are you guys right now besides helping people set up?
Well, let me do this, and I'll kind of show you some show and tell because it's really easy.
Because also you got some other parts of this that aren't just selling things. You've got something that would help, that is in competition with. I'm saying competition with, but is another option for what, linked tree? Is that right? You have
Yeah,
something.
no, and let's talk about that in a few minutes. But let me show what we've done
All right.
for what we have, and kind of let me give you guys some visuals to
Okay.
go with that story I just showed you. So what we believe is that every brand, every small business, I don't care if you're a dojo, a karate studio, maybe you're a pizza parlor, a brewery, it doesn't really matter. You can benefit from having branded merch. So now you have walking billboards. So here's Launchcart's merch store. So if you want to get t-shirts, hats, hoodies, laptop cases, windbreakers, backpacks, uh, tables, all these things. Now, again, when we built this store, none of these product exists. These do not
Okay.
exist. And I'm going to show that here in a minute on your store. These are all computer generated graphics. It looks like we created the product and it looks like we did a photo shoot, but we didn't. Okay. So there's
Right.
Launchcart store as an example. Um, Here's somebody selling jewelry. So you can, if you want to sell jewelry, you can sell jewelry. You can sell whatever you
And
want.
might I add, you could add your supplier or whoever the order goes to. They don't have to buy it from you. They can be buying it from somebody else. But Launchcart can help facilitate the transaction. Correct.
Exactly, and get the shipping order off to the right people. But here's an example of a person that they have contact mapping. They have an app, and they had some cool sayings like "Fire your brain, hire your heart," and "I'm the greatest remember," "Love like crazy, and then love some more." And we built this merch store for them, right? No inventory costs, no shipping headaches. They buy it wholesale, they sell it retail, and they make the profit. Here's another example of you remember the Osmonds. You're old enough to remember the Osmonds. This is
Yes.
Nathan
Yes.
Osmond. This is Donnie and Marie's nephew. He's a country western singer, and he wanted some merch for when he goes on tour and stuff. And let me show you this real quick. This backpack right here, and the world is changing as we know, right? This backpack right here, this beautiful backpack, we
Right.
created this beautiful design for him. This is what's called manufacture on demand. They literally print the design on the fabric, cut the fabric, sew the backpack up, and ship it out. We pay about $30 for the backpack, sell it for 54, and it's manufactured on demand. It's one of the most efficient ways in the world to do business. Okay, and then look what's up next.
Ah,
William Wallace for America,
there's
right?
my site. I love it.
So this is just up. We're showing it for the first time
Yep.
today. This hat's never been made before. But let me go to this hat and then I'm going to show you how our technology works. So it looks like it's embroidered. It looks like we actually made a hat, got it embroidered, and took a picture of it. And there's the three. That's the dad hat. It's my favorite
Yeah.
hat. I love that hat, the
Oh
dad
yeah,
hat.
yeah. Somebody's already told me today. They said, "Oh, I'm glad you're doing dad hats and not the trucker hats."
Right. Well, you can do both, right? And then here's your coffee mug. Well, again, this coffee mug has never been made before. But if you order it for 16.95, it'll go off to the manufacturer. They'll
Yep.
make it, pack it, and ship it right to you.
And I don't have to inventory any of that.
Correct. No shipping headaches, no inventory, no nothing, right? So apparel, hats, just all kinds of stuff. So they just keep giving you idea. Let me go through a couple more of these. So Nathan Osmond, he has a home loan company. He goes, hey, I want to build a home loan merch, some home loan stuff. And we're like, well, no, why would anyone want to buy an Osmond home loan coffee mug? He goes, no, I'm going to just buy them and send them out as gifts. So when I get a customer, I'll just go to my own store, buy it, and have it drop shipped to them. I'm like, oh,
And
okay.
what's interesting is he can have it retail if somebody wants to buy it, or he can pay for it, and the company that's doing the inventory or print on demand, they're going to ship it out for him. He doesn't have to fool with it.
Exactly, exactly. And then here's a movie company. Remember the movie with Dolly Parton, 9 to 5, back in
Yes.
1980? So they have a new movie called Still Working 9 to 5, and they wanted merch and coffee mugs and bags and coffee, and they said, hey, we want to get a shirt that says "Get your own damn coffee," because remember that movie was all about the secretaries being abused.
It's exactly right.
I said, well, I got one even better. I have a coffee company we work with, and we can launch a get your own damn coffee. And basically, they grind it up, put the beans in a bag or grind it up, and then they put your label on the bag, and it's kind of like, manufacturer on demand or white label on demand coffee. So it's really endless what you can do. And like, here's a faith-based store where they got faith-based apparel, and it's all, about Jesus and faith and Christianity. It just goes on and on and on and on. And then we have some cool technology where we can build these what we call long form sales pages that
Hmm.
are all designed for direct response marketing. There's cool stuff then then my daughter even uses it for her business. So my daughter actually builds stores. So you say I want to have a store, but I don't want to build it. Well, this is her business. So our platform really is an e-commerce enabled website builder. So
Right.
she sells her coaching. She sells her done for you stare. It's like if you want to hire her to coach, she didn't have it set up yet. So she's building her coaching here, but she's got her
Hmm.
done for you plan. She's got digital downloads, and you can hire her to build your store and do your stuff. So, and she's 28 years old, and she's making upwards of 100 to $150 an hour building stores for people. So
I
that's
love
another
this.
thing. If you know anyone loves web
Yeah,
graphics,
we're
web design, wants to do that, we can show them how to do that.
And I got to tell you, the whole process has been really, really easy, Greg. I mean, I've actually, when I was starting to work with one of your teammates on this, I was a little bit, I don't want to say cautious is not the word, as much as I was a little apprehensive about how to do it. And as they walked me through it, it's really easy. I mean, I probably could have figured it out myself. It would have taken me a lot longer, but working with your team people, I mean, they have really walked me through this. Sounds like your daughter does a great job at this too.
Yeah. Well, Eugene, who you got on our team, he's a great. So we have what we call certified store builders on our team, and we take them through a 7 week extensive training on how to really build beautiful stores that function perfectly, that load fast, they're done just the way they need to be done, and that way. Now, the platform is really simple. A 12-year-old can go there and build his own store.
Right,
But
exactly.
it's like who has time for it, and it goes back to what's your time worth. And here's another one. This is kind of interesting. This is one of my shareholders. I told you that we're allowing investors to invest in Launchcart right now. And one of our investors, he invested, but he built this store. He lives in a city called Lamont, and he created
Okay.
this whole brand called All Things Lamont. And he's got some dolls that he found. And he's got some T-shirts, and he wears his T-shirts around town, goes in town, and he's sitting at the coffee shop, and people are buying his stuff from him on his store. And I'm like, well, what city couldn't you do this for, right?
Right, exactly.
All things San Diego, all things Escondido, all things
All
New
things New
Orleans.
Orleans.
Yep.
Or
So
better yet, like you said, any company, in a city or wherever they are can do a whole brand or a whole site for not only their business and their merch for their business, but also for the city that they're in, and kind of combine the two. And then you kind of increase your reach a little bit.
Right, right. No, and we were talking earlier about my new client and business partner, Master P, Percy Miller. Unfortunately, in May, I think it was, of this last year, he had a 25-year-old daughter overdose on a fentanyl pill.
Oh gosh.
And
I
so
didn't know that.
yeah, he started the Tata Parachute Foundation. So we're building him. So we do this for a lot of nonprofits, right? So we
Mhm,
build a nonprofit, a store. We're looking at this beautiful throw blanket with that beautiful design on there, right?
mhm. I
Of
see it.
of in memory of his daughter, and then 100% of the profits are going to go to the foundation to help other people with substance abuse.
That's
How cool!
amazing.
How
You
cool is
see,
that,
it's
right?
it's it's that type of giving back. See, this is one of the reasons, like I said, this is actually yet another reason why I'm so attracted to your platform, because not only meeting you and finding out how positive you are, how much you want to help entrepreneurs, finding out your American spirit, your passion for for the free markets and helping other entrepreneurs. But now, like you, I believe in giving back. And I love finding those nonprofits. That's my way of also giving back. I love to promote nonprofits for free because I believe nonprofits are one of the best ways to help our community without government intervention.
Yes, absolutely. No,
Yeah.
empowering everybody with financial literacy and tools to make money, whether it's an extra $200 a month, an extra $2,000 a month, or an extra
Mhm.
$20,000 a month, we can change everybody's the globe, right? Um, and you brought up launch links. So one of the things that we do is we try to create tools that make it easy for you to market. So here's my Instagram account, and on Instagram you're only allowed to put one link in your bio. So when I do a post down here and I'm trying to say something, I can go link in bio, and then when you click on that link, it takes you to another link that shows all my links. Right. So here's
This is
Fuzzy
what I was
Lifestyle
talking about a
Brand.
little while ago. That's kind of resembles Linktree.
Yeah, this is our competitor Linktree, exactly.
And and you all have this as part of being a member of your Launchcart site, correct?
Exactly. It's tied
Where
in.
does it?
So when you go to launch, you can go to launch links and get your free account. So you go, well, Greg, I'm not ready to get a store right now, but I could use the launch links. You go to launchlinks.com and you can get your free account. And then we give you a free e-commerce store when you do that, or when you get your launch card account, you get a free launch links account. So
Okay.
we're all about empowering everyone to have the tools they need to be more efficient and to, make more money, basically.
I love this. So that just yet another way for people to be able to promote it, because if they're promoting this in your launch links along parallel to their launch cart site, they're able to not only build a brand and build a business and build a whole other stream of income, but they're able to do it a lot easier on one platform than having to use multiple platforms.
Yeah. And you know what I want to say too is, going back to the statement that Launchcart's an e-commerce enabled website builder, and you can literally use it for anything. So maybe you do some knick-knack paddywhack stuff at home and you knit or whatever, and you need to have a website where you can put the stuff on there and people can buy from you. Okay, you can do that, or you can take that and get some other designs with our product
Right.
sourcing marketplace. But you know what else? It could be for your 12-year-old son who mows lawns in the neighborhood. Have him go create a site, Greg's lawn mowing service, and you could get the one-time deal, $30, or the monthly plan, and you give them a discount. So it doesn't, you could be the plumber. It's a website builder that allows you to accept
So you can
payments.
also do recurring payments. So if somebody says, I want to support your platform, I'm just going to do $5 a month, they can just go in there and do $5 a month on a recurring plan on through Launchcart.
Actually, we don't have that feature built into Launchcart yet, but you can do that through the merchant account and use Launchcart as the page to build it. So we have a little workaround. We will be adding that feature because I want to do it with my coffee. you
Yeah, right.
know.
Exactly. I'm gonna have to try some of that coffee. Although I've been scrolling my website at the bottom. If people go on the website, there's a link at the top that says to go to my merchandise store, and they just click that. It goes right to the store that they showed them. And I gotta tell you, we've done that in just a couple days, and it's actually going to be quicker than that. But because I'm new to it, I was trying to learn with the process. It's taking a little bit longer. but Eugene stays like 20 steps, maybe 100 steps ahead of me, on this. He's absolutely amazing. So where are you guys now? How can people get involved more with the launch cart?
Well, really it's launchcart.com, and you can go there, and obviously you can go to your website, and from there, you're going to have some links to what we're doing, which is a good place to go. And the main thing for us is we're always looking for people that, want to get online, start their business. We're going to be doing this stock offering. We're doing an offering for investors, and we're going to be hiring people and growing, and we're going to be going to more events, because this is the year we've been building for 4 years. And by the way, we've had over 42,000 people sign up to build a store on our platform with no marketing for the first 2.5 years since we launched our MVP.
42,000 people are already on launch cart.
Yep, yep, yep.
So how, if people want to get involved in a bigger way, do they just go to launch cart? How do they get a hold of
Yeah,
you guys?
no, you go to Launchcart and you create your free account and start playing around, and then we'll be emailing you, and then we're going to invite you to join our Facebook group. We have a big Facebook group with thousands of people in it, and it's a big support group with like-minded people. And we always use in the Facebook group to train and do things. And like for instance, this week, I have two guys that are $7 million sellers. They've done $1 million in sales in t-shirt sales multiple years in a row, and I hire them to train people on how to sell online. So we have people that want merch stores, just branded merch for their business, because I own a pizza parlor and I want branded merch, or I have the coffee shop, I want branded merch. And then we have people go, no, I want to make money, or I
Yeah,
want
right.
to start a t-shirt brand, right? We have that. And then my daughter, she's 28, and another one of our students is 24. They're doing a launch your brand on demand 4-day challenge next week, teaching you how to create a logo, how to start a brand, how to check for a trademark, how to build something more long term that you could have a brand. Like one of the ones I'm creating is called Rescue Joe. Drink a cup, save a pup.
Yeah, I love
And
it.
I'm going to donate money to dog rescues, because I've had dog rescues for, I don't know, 3 or 4 decades, it seems like. And I love coffee. So I'm like, oh, dog lovers and coffee. That's a good fit,
That's
right?
a good, real
So,
good fit, right?
right. And then we donate to dog rescue and have it and build a brand. And I believe if I put energy into that brand, month in, month out, year in, year out, 5 years from now, it'll probably be worth $1 million.
Well, and none of that, but you're doing a lot of help for the community.
Yep.
I love when people give back. I mean, I think it's one of the most important things that we can do as not only a community but our country. I guess I think it's the number one way. If we got back to businesses like yours, where we're helping each other be successful, and at the same time we're giving back and we're leading by example and showing others how to give back, our country is not only a more prosperous country. Not only are we helping the people that need the help, but we're also becoming less reliant on government. The narratives on the government handouts and how much people are going to the government, the government trough, so to speak. That could be greatly reduced if we had showed more people how to be prosperous, help them be prosperous, and show people how giving back is so important. And how shall I say, when you promote that cycle of not only prosperity but giving back, you create a country that doesn't need government as much, and then we all win in the end.
Exactly, exactly, exactly.
You know, and I know how patriotic you are, Greg. I love it. I would love for people to see part of that, see that in you. Yeah, see the flag in the back, right?
No, no, no. This is a. I don't know if you can hear that. That's
I
a big.
it's a it's a
That's a big
metallic.
bronze. That's a big bronze eagle I've had for. Yeah, I've been carrying around every office I've had for like the last
I
15
was
years.
wondering if that was one of the ones you carved.
No, no, no. The ones I carved were. Yeah, no.
Well, is there any other updates? Anything else anybody would you think would be interested in about Launchcart and things you've got coming up?
Really, I'm just looking for more and more people that can. I'm looking to get on podcasts. I want to say thank you so much for getting me on here, because we want to
Yeah,
get the word
absolutely.
out, and I'm very proud and blessed, because when e-commerce, I call them e-commerce influencers, when people that are real familiar with e-commerce, and maybe they build stores for a living, or they built stores in the past, and they all check out Launchcart, we get really a lot of praises, and people are making videos and saying great stuff about us. That's fantastic. So just helping us get the word out. And then obviously, if somebody's out there listening and saying, "Man, I'd like to look at that investment. Of course, we can't offer an investment over the air, but we are going to be launching a crowdfunding campaign. So we got two things going on.
Okay.
We got the investment opportunity for the high net worth individuals, right? That can write, sizable checks. But then because we have 42,000 customers and because we're doing this thing with Percy Miller and Master P, we're going to launch a crowdfunding campaign. So the little guys that only can put in 500 to 2,000 bucks, give them a chance to put it in. And again, when you compare us to Shopify, now, again, I don't think of myself as a competitor. They got like billions of dollars of cash in the bank. They're worth about $50 billion right now. But all we got to do is take $1 to $2 billion from these guys in the next 5 years, and our investors are going to make 50 to 100 times their money.
Well, not only that, but when you look at, like you said, you don't see yourself as a competitor. You see yourself as just another option, because
Right.
there's always people who are going to prefer that option, and they're going to prefer your option, and so you're just another option,
Yeah.
for people. You've worked out a lot of the kinks in there, and
Yeah,
I
no, I
commend
remember I
you.
remember my partner talking about a conversation with Tommy Hilfiger, and Tommy Hilfiger was saying, for every Burger King, there's another McDonald's, or for every McDonald's, there's a Burger King, or for every Taco Bell, there's another taco shop, and it's just like you said, it's like we're just another alternative, and we have a different spin on how we do things, and we have that freemium model that allows you to get started without a bunch of upfront fees or monthly fees.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because do you want to talk about the fees for launch card, or is that part of what they'll
Yeah,
see when
so
you?
so basically you can go for free and you can go for free forever, and we take 3% of your sales. So if you do $100, we get $3. If you do $1,000, we get $30. And that's how we make money on the freemium plan. Now, if you start doing where you're doing $2,000 a month and that's costing you $60, you can upgrade to our first payment plan, which is $27 a month. So we have a $27 a month plan, a $97 a month plan, and then a $297 a month plan. But with our free plan, it's fully functional. Everything's there. Now we do give you more features and
Mhm.
access to more features as you go up that ascension ladder. So if you're in a
Right.
situation where you can afford to pay the 97, just jump right to the 97 a month, right?
I love your enthusiasm, to your point, you're doing this in a way that you're being respective of, hey, look, I'm going to help you save money. I can make more money off of you, but I'm helping you save money because you believe in finding ways to help other entrepreneurs and help people get to the next level for themselves.
Yeah, no, and again, when we're trying to help people start their home-based business or their side hustle, they can't be hit with hundreds of dollars a month of fees. And only I forgot to say one other thing about Launchcart. So with Shopify, I always use this analogy. This is a $1,400 Samsung, phone, right?
Right.
What if when I bought this phone, all it did was make and receive a phone call? There was no apps on it. Didn't have a calendar, didn't have a camera, and I had to go to the app store for every single feature and download the feature, configure the feature, install the feature, and then pay extra for it. That's what Shopify is. Shopify is built on an app-driven model. So when you get Shopify, all you can do is sell something online. If you want to collect customer reviews, you got to go to the app store, type in customer reviews, 10 options come up. You got to go, okay, which one should I get? Look at the reviews, look at that, and you got to shop and compare. Then you got to install, then you got to configure, and then you have to pay extra money. And when I was doing my celebrity stores, I was installing 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 apps. And my bill was $600, $800 a month before I even got started, before we even
Yeah.
launched the store to have the features that I wanted. So we
Right.
said, okay, freemium model, great. But now let's go to what we call the must-haves. You must have customer reviews. You must have. You
Right.
must have email pop-ups so you can do name acquisitions and
Right.
offer
Right.
coupons.
Right.
You must have coupons and sales. You must have promotional bars. So we said, oh, let's get all the must-haves and let's build in the must-haves as part of the free plan, as part of the paid plan. So you don't have to go. So we're speedy. It makes it speedier to market, right?
Right.
Then we said we got to do the should haves. And what are the should haves? Well, the should haves are what digital marketers want. We want order bumps where we can say, hey, would you like some fries with that Coke, right? We
Right.
want checkout page editor. The most important page on any e-commerce site is the checkout page. The moment in truth when they're going to put their credit card in and hit submit. And on that page, you need to be able to add trust seals, guarantees, refund policies, and all the things that are going to give me trust going, yeah, I'm going
Right.
to push submit, right? So we have the only e-commerce platform that I know of where you can actually change and edit and WYSIWYG drag and drop the checkout page. Now you can do it on Shopify if you pay $2,000 a month for their Shopify Plus plan. and that comes with us for $27 a month. And then we have what we call upsells and downsells. And the secret sauce to making money on the internet is the upsells and downsells. So when you come to our site, and let's say you buy a spin gym, right? And
Right.
I got you to buy a spin gym for $40. You check out, you put in your credit card, you check out. Now I've already got your $40. Our system allows you to put a little pop-up and go, hey, thank you for your $40. But before you go, I can add another spin gym to your order for half price. We're already going to be shipping you stuff. We'll give you free
Yeah.
shipping and give you a second one for $20. 30% of the people go, yep, I want one of those.
Oh yeah.
And now
Give me. Hey.
I just increased my average order value. I increased my profits. I got more products in the marketplace, which drives more sales. And that's what, so we built those should haves into Launchcart as well. And we're the only platform that has it.
And automatic is part of the price and not an extra.
Exactly.
Wow, Greg, I got to tell you, this has been really exciting. I've actually learned a little bit more today talking with you on that, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this with you, because I think it's not only important for, to show that you as a business, but I think it's important for everybody that's in the influencer part industry, the podcasting industry, hosting something industry, and like I said, the moms at home or the dads at home who just want to have another stream of income. I think this is awesome.
No, I appreciate that, and it really is. And God's given me this good vision, and we're thinking about serving the community. How do we serve? How do we build a better platform? How do we enable? How do we lower their barrier of entry? That's part A on the e-commerce side. And then we're going to launch our source and sell marketplace in a big way this year with the investment capital that's coming in. And then we're going to create a distribution channel for inventors and people that have products. And no matter what it is, we're going to help you sell your products as well. And then we're taking a little bit of market share from Amazon, right? Take a little bit of
Exactly.
market share from eBay, take a little bit of market share from
Right.
Etsy. So we take a little
And,
bit from all these people, we become a big deal.
and not to get political, but sometimes people have political problems with some of these companies that have different ideologies, or they cancel people or shut them down. And you're just trying to create a platform that's fair for everyone, where everyone can not only compete fairly, but where everyone can come to on reasonable prices to have a business, but also not feel like they're ever going to be canceled or be chased away because of how they might believe or what they're selling, as long as it's legal.
Yeah.
Correct?
No, that's exactly right. I'm a faith, family, freedom guy. I've been, as I told you my story about helping fund and finance entrepreneurs, I'm all about free enterprise. And what's really sad and really kind of just mind-boggling to a guy like me, an entrepreneur, a capitalist, is I got a call one day. I'll tell you a quick little story. I got a call. I got introduced to a guy named Joe Collins the third, and he was running for Congress here in California in the Orange County area, right? And he says, hey, can I build my merch store on Launchcart and sell my t-shirts, hats, and yard signs and stuff? And I go, well, sure, yeah, absolutely. He said, are you sure? And I'm like, what do you mean, am I sure? Yeah. He's like, well, I got canceled off Shopify. I'm like, what? Like Shopify can't, what do you mean? He's like,
Right.
Shopify shut my store down. They won't let me sell on their platform. I'm like, what are you selling again?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, what is he
Right.
selling? I
Yeah.
mean, yard signs, bumper stickers, little pins, lapels, t-shirts, hats, and hoodies. I'm like, and he says, yeah, me and a bunch of my a bunch of Republicans, they've canceled our stores. And of course, they canceled. Trump used to be on Shopify. They canceled his store. And I'm like,
Re-
that's just, to me, that's just anti-American. It really
It
is.
really is.
Now, Shopify is a Canadian company, so maybe that's okay. But they're just so big, they can cancel people that and I'm like, no, no, no. As long as you're, and again, I'll give you another example. A lot of companies are what they call high risk. So if you sell nutritional supplements, you're considered high risk. Well, they sometimes cancel those kind of companies, right? Or if they're selling parts around ammunition or guns or legal stuff,
Mm.
they won't do that either. And I'm like, no, no, no. Look, if it's legal, I'm a free enterprise guy. I'm not going to endorse or not endorse, but we're going to provide the platform for you to conduct business and be an entrepreneur and,
Mhm.
and perpetuate capitalism in our
Right.
great country.
Exactly. I love it. Well, and what better way to do that? But like I said, just love the fact that you've got a very open mind about creating platforms for everybody, that you don't cancel them for their beliefs. And you're doing this, not only does it help everybody, it helps our country. It helps our communities, because when you put that kind of positive attitude back into the universe, back into our country, and more people prosper and help each other with this, our country's a better place. We come together. Like I said, I'll never get rid of my ideologies of faith, family, constitution, flag waving, Bible thumping, gun toting, beliefs, but I believe that we have as much in common with each other if we focus on talking to each other instead of listening to the narratives and being driven by narratives. And that's the kind of attitude that I see that you're promoting here. And I can't tell you how much I thank you for that.
No, absolutely. And I appreciate you for that as well, because we have to make a stand and we have to stand up, and we with this whole woke cancel culture just doesn't work. And again, it's funny, like you and I are so much alike. It's like the more we get to know each other, I'm like, he's just like me. Because I was talking to somebody the other day, and they're a Democrat and they're very liberal, and we don't agree on hardly anything, but we can still talk. We don't hate each
Right.
other.
Exactly.
It's like I'm 60, and it's like that's how I grew up. It's like
Yeah.
you can have your position, we can argue, we can debate, but we can still, have a good time together. And
That
it's
that
like, so I want to get back to that.
and I'll tell you one more quick story too. Did I tell you how I started my show and when I ran for office?
No.
It's actually on my website too, but real quick, when I started my show almost 10 years ago, I wanted to be the next right-wing conservative talk show host. So I went on the air and started talking all right-wing things, all ideological stuff on the right. And I actually, Greg, got to take a little tired of it because I felt like I was just repeating things. It wasn't making a difference. And I was just, talking to 1%, part of our country. And then I ran for office 4 years ago. And I thought everybody in my neighborhood, my community was a think like me, be like me, look like me. Everything was be like me. And I started knocking on doors because I wanted to do retail politics. So I knocked on every single door in my district. Okay.
Wow.
And the way and more and I spent time talking to people. And I would knock on a door, and I live in an area where I thought everybody was the same color, same religion, same everything. And I'd meet somebody who was different. Maybe they were, maybe they were a gay couple, gay married couple. Maybe they were interracial. Maybe they were a different religion. And the narratives show us that we're not supposed to like each other. The narratives tell us that we're so different, we vote different, that we shouldn't, that we shouldn't even talk to each other. That's the kind of the gist that we get back from the narratives in the national media. But what I found when I started talking to everybody, that we're so much more alike. We're
Yeah.
so much more alike than we realize. We all want the same things. We just think a little bit differently sometimes. But when we focus on the things that we can agree on and that we have in common, we can focus on better solutions.
Yeah.
And we might just be fixing one thing together, but it's better to be working together to fix something than being driven apart by narratives that are only being used to divide us, to give control to somebody who doesn't care about our prosperity, who doesn't care about how we are with each other, who doesn't care about our communities. And that's the kind of things that I see that you're bringing to the table here, that unity, that common sense of, improving our communities in our country, Greg.
No,
And
that, you know what, that's, I appreciate that so much. And that I gotta end your show, or forget. I know we're getting close to the end, but I gotta
yes,
share with you something, because I visualize myself like talking about this on national news, and Tucker. I like Tucker, but so what you just said, like I personally believe I'm a do-gooder and a believer, and I trust people, like, inherently. I'm not one of those guys that doesn't trust anyway,
right.
right? And what you just said, I think it's just a small itty bitty fraction of the people that have hijacked what you just said, because most
That's
people are
right.
that way. But here's what's happened, in my opinion, and I don't think it was intentional, except for maybe from a spiritual standpoint. Satan did this intentionally. But check this out. I've never heard anyone say what I'm getting ready to say to you, and you can snip this out. I think this should go viral. So check this out. So
I might put it on a T-shirt in my store, so be careful.
no, one of the no, it's a little too long for that. One of the reasons that we're so polar right now is because of technology. Now, from a marketing perspective, we love technology. So check this out. So as a digital marketer, what happened was is Facebook and Google and these people came up with this technology that says, hey, if you're pregnant, or you just got pregnant, right? And they start searching around for, oh, baby diapers, or baby this, or baby that. All of a sudden, Google knows you're pregnant based on what you're searching for. And Facebook knows what you're searching for. And right. And so it was this technology that's divided our country was created from a marketing perspective. They never really figured that the
Mhm.
effect would be political, right? So to follow this through. So now we all of mankind's on the internet, and they know more about us than Google knows more about you than you know about you.
Right,
Guarantee it.
exactly
Right?
right.
Literally like 400,000 data points. And they compare and they compare. So now they do this from a technology standpoint to help marketers, which we love as a marketer because I want to market to 45-year-old women who have golden retrievers who drive a Ford. Yeah, right. So great.
There's a
So
market for that.
they start to categorize that, right? And they start to say, oh, these people are just like these people. There's what's called look-alike audiences. So I go, if I start running ads and I get a bunch of buyers, then Facebook or Google goes, oh, well, here's the demographics and the data points on these buyers. I can do a look-alike audience and go advertise to other people, and my ads are more effective, right? Now
Right.
think about that, how that affected politically. So now we start putting people in buckets, and then we start showing people through this algorithm marketing messages and things, and then it all of a sudden backfired. In my opinion, this is what I think. It backfired because now it started showing, oh, I like this Biden thing, or I like this news thing, I like this news thing, and based on those likes, I'm only seeing that. So now, therefore, from a political standpoint, or from a just Republicans and party standpoint, I'm only seeing one half of the picture. So that continually divides me, and I'm going, how could you possibly think that? Like, how could? And then the liberals are going,
Wow.
you guys are crazy. How can you possibly think that? And we're both saying that because they never see what we see and we never see what they see.
That's a great thought, Greg. I gotta tell you something.
I told you.
I want to rewind the tape, but I almost want to start the podcast off with that. Because you're exactly right. I mean, like, we see it as narratives, and what I've always thought, you've kind of changed my thinking on this too. I thank you for that, because in the beginning you think, well, there's narratives out there, and the liberals are believing the liberal narratives, and the Republicans are believing the Republican narratives. But the way you're explaining is there's a division, there's a wall between it, to where we can't see what they're seeing. So we're only being solidified, or cemented into our own beliefs to not like them, and the same for them. And that wall doesn't give any sharing of thoughts or ideas. And when you don't have a sharing of thoughts and ideas, everybody becomes more closed-minded, and then our country is in a dying state when that happens.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
that's a great example, Greg.
And I call it the law of exposure. So I'm going to start a podcast I told you about called the law of exposure. And where this is really relevant is with the younger generation. So because of the younger generation, like my daughter's 28, she follows my ideology, but she never sees it because she's in that lookalike audience of the age and demographics. And what
Mhm.
she goes, Dad, all I see is this and this and this. You go, I don't like it. I don't comment, but I only see that kind of stuff because she's in that lookalike and the advertisers and the promotions and that kind of stuff. So I talk about the law of exposure, going, look, expose yourself to this book, expose yourself to this thing. What do I have right here? And you probably have one on your desk too. So I have uh, the Constitution of the United States,
I've
right?
got one right over here.
It's like expose yourself.
I got them on both
Try
sides.
try reading the Constitution. Expose yourself to the Bible. Expose yourself to this New York culture. Go to New York City and check it out. Go to Italy. Go to another country. Go to Venezuela. Like, expose yourself to Venezuela and then tell me
Right.
what you think about America. Right? So
Exactly.
that law of exposure. So I can't wait to share this, and I really do want to kind of give that narrative. Now I think, and again, it's proven now with the Twitter files that these big tech companies not only have the algorithm stuff that kind of created this divide
Exactly.
from the marketing perspective, but they put their pedal on it too, and they started suppressing it because of their personal ideology. Or actually, I don't even know it was them. Maybe some little minion that's working for him in the back office going, I'm going to suppress him. I'm going to suppress him.
Well, I
And
think
but I think,
the technology was created by these retailers who, like you said, used it to be able to sell more products.
yeah,
And I think somewhere in the political sphere, some, like you said, some little, political geek said, wow, I can use this to win campaigns, or we can use this to push somebody's narrative to be able to help, increase their likability, in the polls. So, or their approval rating in the polls. So I get it completely.
yeah, it's pretty cool, and I just think that narrative could be like going back to my narrative, my opinion. I'm like, if I could get on some Tucker Carlson or Steve, some other places just to
Well, hey,
share.
you're on
I
William
think
Wallace. What are you
I,
talking
I
about?
got it. I know. I'm hoping that 5 million people watch this, right? Because, like you said, it changed you just a little bit, so you have a little bit of an understanding, which gives you a little bit of empathy, which gives you a little bit more forgiveness. And you and I don't need it, but other people do.
Exactly.
Other people need a little bit of empathy to understand. Okay, that makes sense.
Right.
Okay.
So when they get a blend of everything, they'll find that they'll get that empathy, the empathetic feeling in their heart, which because they have more of an understanding. But just to let you know, this show, even though it's on Facebook Live right now and on Cloud Hub, when I take the audio or the video, I'll put it on the Rumble, and then I take the audio off of this. It becomes a podcast, and that goes to my podcast app. So everything's evergreen. I never take it off the platform. It'll stay on those platforms forever, and over time, and then I'll tweet it and I'll promote it all kinds of ways. So over time, I get the views. I hope I get 5 million views, but over time, I get a lot of views. That will keep. And look, and we're gonna do more shows, Greg, as your company grows. We're gonna do more things together because I really want to promote you a little bit more on that.
No, I
I'm gonna
appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's
I'm
awesome.
I'm in the broadcast, but then off the air, I'm gonna talk to you for a few minutes afterwards. And
Yeah.
but I want to make sure everybody knows how they can find you at Launchcart. You're also on Twitter at your name, Greg Ryder, and
Yeah,
Launch.
official Greg Ryder on Twitter. Or no,
Okay,
maybe it's yeah, you'll find me. There's not too many writers out there.
I found you. It in your bio. It says CEO of Launchcart, and then I
Yep.
followed you on Launchcart also, and you're on Instagram, and so on all those platforms. So, Greg, I want to thank you very much. I really appreciate the time.
Well,
And
no, thank you very much. And I always end all my interviews with this. Do one thing for me. Wake up every day with an attitude of gratitude. Tell somebody you love them. I guess two things. Wake up with an attitude of gratitude. Tell somebody you love them, and I promise you'll have a better day.
thank you so much, Greg. I appreciate it. Everybody else, you heard it. And again, share the video, share the interview, look for it on the podcast, and do like Greg said, wake up with an attitude of gratitude and tell somebody you love them. Appreciate you, Greg. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.